It's your boy Concert Viz 34 coming to you earlier than usual. I just woke up. It's May 18, 2017, with unfortunate news of the passing of singer and songwriter and guitarist Chris Cornell. Now, I'm only 26, so I was not alive for the beginnings of Chris's career in the 80s with Soundgarden, but I have been someone who definitely remembered the Audio Slave era, being in my preteen and teenage years for that. And I actually saw him in my first major concert ever, as far as going to the locals venue and seeing a concert there versus smaller kind of shows around town. And my first show was the Project Revolution tour back in 2008, which kind of dates itself, but I was a huge Linkin Park fan, but I also respected Chris Cornell as well as some of the other acts that were there. And Chris did his solo stuff. And I knew a lot of the Audio Slave stuff, it was more recent. And I knew that he had played in Soundgarden, but listening to some of the Soundgarden uh, songs that he played, A Tempo of the Dog song and Hunger Strike, it made me go back into the crates and listen to his amazing beginnings with Soundgarden in the grunge era, and even the Temple of the Dog album, his collaboration with some great Seattle artists there in grunge. But it's really sad to hear of his passing, just because he's somebody who's affected multiple eras. Like I said, I remember him from Audio Slave. That first Audio Slave album was amazing at the time, and it just got a cult following. So to know that that was during my kind of preteen, uh, teenage years with Audio Slave, he's impacted me through that music, and then going back and seeing a whole entire previous generation before me uh, grow up with him with the Soundgarden, and then again Temple of the Dog and some other collaborations. Just says a lot about who he was as a musician. Um, Super unknown to me was a huge album, as far as when I was going back and listening to his stuff. Obviously, it's more of the mainstream album, but um, it's just a great piece of art that's inspired a lot of the artists that came in those 2000s, and even now that are still around. A lot of those kids grew up listening to Super Unknown and other grunge and other music, but it's a huge album as far as what it did to impact the music world. And obviously, going back to the first couple albums of Soundgarden, again, the impact of that music, the movement that it started with other bands like Pearl Jam, obviously Nirvana, Alice in Chains. That whole grunge movement was something that I was fascinated with as a preteen, and then into my teenage years, going back to listen to. So, just wanted to say real quick, rest in peace to Chris Cornell. I know, obviously, I didn't know him personally, but there's something about listening to people's music and the times and memories that you connect with that music, that some people say, well, oh, you didn't know him, why are you saying rest in peace? But I mean, unless you really get music, unless you really have an emotional connection to music, you never will understand what someone's music could do for your life, for the lives of others, and what seeing somebody live, like I did seeing Chris Cornell, can do to how you explore music in the future. So just wanted to make a quick video. Rest in peace, Chris Cornell. I'm sure we'll find out more details, but he was very young at the age of 52 to pass. I don't want to get into theories or anything like that. There's definitely things that have to be researched and looked at with all parties involved, including his family, doctors, and others involved. And he was on a tour for Soundgarden. They were making their ways around the country and around the world at this time. I believe he was in Detroit, but um, you know, this is what life brings, especially in the music world. These people we grow up listening to go on and they do pass away. So I just wanted to make a quick video shouting out Chris Cornell and saying rest in peace. Thoughts are with him and his family and his bandmates of all his projects. But that's pretty much it. I definitely will be running this morning to a lot of different Chris Cornell as far as Little Solo, Soundgarden, Temple of the Dog, Audio Slave, just to remember him. All right, take care, guys.